Hey, mama. So, one challenge that many mamas are running businesses and raising babies face is managing their home on top of their million and one other responsibilities. At times, it can feel like you have to choose what gets taken care of on any given day. If you're looking to change that and start implementing simple strategies to maintain your home without stress and overwhelm, today's episode is for you. In this episode, I chat with Dominique Bradberry about keeping your home clean as a mom and business owner. Dominique also shares simple home management tips for work from home moms that you can get started with today. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Hey, mama. Welcome to Marketing Without Socials for Moms. I'm your host, Andrea Singletary, daughter of the king, wife, mama of two, and visibility strategist for moms who want to make social media optional. When I'm not grabbing the 100th go-go squeeze applesauce for my kids, you can find me curled up on the couch with a homemade chai tea latte and a good book. So tell me, have you reached the point in your business where you are done with social media burnout and ready to make social media optional? Are you consistently posting reels and carousels and showing up in stories, but sporadically signing new clients? Or maybe your season of life has drastically changed, meaning you have less time to show up on socials to grow your business. Trust me, I get it. I have been in each of these scenarios at some point in my business journey. It wasn't until I started leaning into marketing strategies outside of social media that I started having more predictability in my sales and growing my business in a way that supported my current season of life. And I want that for you, mama. Each week, I'm giving you the inside scoop on how to increase your visibility and sales through podcasting, email marketing, and collaborations. All right, mama, now grab your coffee, notebook, and pen, and let's dive into today's episode. All right, today on the Mama Turned Mompreneur podcast, I'm sitting down to chat with Dominique Bradberry, and we are going to be talking all about managing your home while running a business. So Dominique, welcome to the show. Please tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do, and all about your family.
Yes. Well, first off, I want to thank you so much for just allowing me to be here with you and to talk with your beautiful audience. I am so honored to be here. My name is Dominique Bradberry, and I am a homemaking educator. And I teach everyone from moms to working professionals how to create routines to manage their home, but specifically 30-minute routines. So that way it's not taking you forever to create a home that you love, essentially.
I love that. And tell us a little bit about your family.
Sure. So I have been married to my husband now. We'll be celebrating 10 years next year, which is pretty amazing.
Congrats.
And we have 3 boys. Thank you. I feel like it's a huge accomplishment. But we do have 3 boys, ages 8, almost 5, and I have an almost 2-year-old. So I have a little bit of everything, and it's wild. All boys.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
I have 1 boy, and he is a lot, so I can't imagine 3.
Head spinning all day. It's fun though. It's good. They keep me young.
Yes. So talk to us about being a homemaker while running a business. So what challenges can we face as moms when we're trying to manage our homes while running our businesses?
Yeah. So I kind of have found that there's 2 different groups that kind of fall into this category. Either you are a mom who is running a business, but you also have little ones at home. So you're trying to do it at the same time, or you're running a business and your kids might be at school and you're home by yourself. So those 2 groups I find face different challenges with trying to manage the home. On one side, you have the ones who are home and they have little children at home and you're constantly chasing messes all day, every day. It's like you're constantly having to be moving versus when you are building a business while at home, your kids are at school. You don't really have to worry too much about cleaning up those messes all day long. However, you are still trying to make time to get all the things done, make sure your home is clean, meal planning and all those things before the kids get home from school, if you will. So I do find that the common issue that most moms face is the time management aspect of, okay, I have this certain amount of time. How do I fit it all in? So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I have one who's at school, and then my youngest, she's home with me full time. So I have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
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 So you talk a lot about creating home management routines. So what are they, and what steps can we take to start creating them?
Yes. So I have three core routines that I believe that every home should have. The very first place that you will start is with your time. I believe that the way that we manage our time, everything flows from that. Even how you manage your business, to how you manage your home, to how you manage your relationships. It's all about time management. So one of the first routines that I typically have my students create is their time management. How are they managing their time on a week to week basis? But then those next core routines that will then fall into that time management is going to be meal planning, cleaning routines, and laundry routines. Those are like the bulk three manchos of the home. If you can get those down packed, you are smooth sailing. And as far as like getting started, as I mentioned, the very first place that I recommend is to start with auditing your time, simply creating like a weekly schedule. And I'm not saying like, you're looking at a calendar and you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be here at 9 a.m. and here at 10 a.m. No, it's more so just like knowing what's happening at certain points of the day, and then knowing when in your week you're going to fit in your cleaning, or you're going to fit in your laundry, or you're going to fit in your meal planning. And having a schedule of some sort will help you to see on paper or on the computer or on your phone where you're going to actually fit those routines in. So that way nothing is slipping through the cracks, and you're feeling like, your home is actually running smoothly instead of complete chaos.
I love that. And really just like having that plan laid out. But like you said, not being so much of a stickler, like, oh, I have to do it at this time, but like on
Yeah.
set days, like, okay, this is what I'm focusing on this day, and, different things like that. Like, I know for us, Sundays are kind of like meal prep days as well as laundry days. Like, we kind of like to start the week fresh like that and everything. And it does create like this smooth process for us. Like, we know what to expect on Sundays and different things like that. And so one thing like I talk a lot about on this podcast is how I personally, like, I rely on my husband's support a lot to be able to run my business. And so like that kind of looks like for us, like on the weekends, he kind of takes over with the kids so I can get work done. And I
Yeah.
know that you kind of share a similar philosophy, like when it comes to managing the home. And so how do you recommend moms encourage their husbands to partner with them in managing the home? Because sometimes
Yeah.
there's some different beliefs where like it's like, no, the woman is the homemaker, whatnot.
Yeah.
And so talk to us like how you really support your clients in getting their partners like on board with supporting with managing the home.
Yes. Oh, this is a big one. Like this is a huge one. Like I get this question so many times. How do I get my partner to actually help me with managing the home? Because it feels like I am doing all of the work, especially if you are home all day. It's almost like this expectation, I know for me, when I first got married, I had this kind of thought in my head like, oh, like he's just going to go to work and I'm going to just like manage the home. You don't have to worry about any of that. But baby, I got 3 kids now and life is very different. Like the thought and the dreams that I had at that time doesn't like actually meet my reality right now. So the very first thing that I would recommend is to get very clear on what you are able to do and what you are not able to do. I actually created like a little quiz for my students that's simply just like delegate it or what is it? Either delegate it or do it. And basically, it's just a simple questionnaire with random tasks, and you either choose if you want to delegate it or if you want to do it. And then what's great is that at the end of it, she's able to see, okay, these are the things that I'm able to do. And these are the things that either I need to delegate it or I need to outsource it. So I recommend that first you need to get very clear on your own capacity, what you are actually able to do or willing to do. And the way that you know that is you'll notice that your bandwidth is very stretched. Like, hey, I actually am having a really hard time being able to cook meals or go to the grocery store. If these are pain points for you, start to make it a habit of writing these things down. And then you're going to have a conversation with your husband. Because the truth is that you guys are partners. You know, it's not just like one person doing everything. So it's important that when you do go to sit down to talk to them, that you're very clear on your expectations and you can say, hey, you know, I've been noticing that in this season, this is where I'm at and this is not working for me. How can we work together to create a home that we both desire? Because it's not just about they may want things to look a certain way, but you're not able to meet that expectation. But it's very important in any relationship and in marriage, especially, that you guys do come together and you have a shared vision for your home. And then from there, you decide, okay, this is the vision. How can we get there together and not just one person carrying the load?
I love that. And I love that you brought up capacity because that's something I talk about a lot here on the podcast.
Yeah.
More so looking at like in terms of your business, like what you have the capacity to do. But also it does apply to your home, right? Especially when you are a mom running a business and you're trying to manage the home and everything, you have to take into consideration all of those things. So like you said, like your bandwidth can only stretch so much. Like
Yes.
at some point, something's gonna give. And I know that's something that me and my husband had to have a talk about too last year, where I just really didn't have the capacity to continue to be responsible for dinner each week, like even trying to plan it. And
Yeah.
like, I am handing it off to you. You plan the meals, you cook the meals, and all of that. And that has helped a lot. Like, my load and everything like that. And so I think, and you may see this with your clients too, where we often struggle as moms to even just ask for help, to even have that
Yeah.
conversation. And so, do
Yeah.
you have any like tips and strategies for the mama who she's like, I don't know if I want to ask my husband for help because, you know, we have a particular way we like to do things and everything. And so, like,
Yes.
tips and strategies for navigating that?
Absolutely. So the very first thing, so I am a woman of faith for sure, 100%. So my first resource is always prayer. Like, Lord, you know, hopefully it's okay if I say this, but
Yes.
okay.
They know I am a Christian
Okay.
too.
Like,
We
I don't
talk
want to
about
go
Jesus on this podcast, so come on, girl.
good.
Preach.
I'm like, I don't want to go too deep, but, you know, just one of the first thing that I would recommend doing is going to the Lord and asking him to give you the grace and the words to speak to your husband. I think that oftentimes we have this voice that it's telling us that, you know, maybe he's not for us or maybe he won't understand, but we don't know that to be true. Those are just thoughts that we are embracing. But I think it's important that we remember that our spouses are our partners in this beautiful life and in this family. So the very first thing is I recommend prayer. Ask the Lord to highlight to you and to show you what are the things that you should be talking to him about. Another thing too, this is kind of like a sidebar, is we do like a marriage business meeting every Sunday in our home. And what that looks like is us just going over what are the meals going to look like for the week? What are the kids' schedules for the week? Hey, I'm hanging out with a friend on Friday. Da 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 da. And one of the questions that are on that list as well is, how can I serve you this week? Or is there anything that I need to ask for forgiveness? I don't want to make this like a marriage, you know, episode, but
Yeah.
it's really it's all a part of the story, you know?
Mhm.
And when you have this pattern of meeting with your spouse, it kind of opens up those doors for communication. But yeah, I would just say, you know, go to them and just start with how is it impacting you? Not more so like, you're not picking up your stuff and you're not helping me carry the load, and like none of that accusatory talk, but more so just like, hey, I cannot pick up after you and the kids. I can't do this. How can we work through this together? I also actually have like literal scripts that I provide my clients to. It literally says, here are the effective scripts to use with your husband to communicate your needs. So if you're listening to this, send me a message. I'll send it over to you. And you can just read from the script. But yeah, it's just a script that's telling you how to go into that conversation and then how to also follow up, because you guys may not resolve everything in that conversation. So it's important that you do just kind of like circle back around and also say, okay, I'm following up on this. And then don't be afraid to change, like life is always changing. Seasons are always changing. And what may have worked for you in a past season may not work for you a month from now. And that's okay. So yeah.
I love those tips, especially the weekly meeting. Definitely adding that to my list of things to do with my husband.
Yeah, it's good. We love to do that because it's just so many moving parts, going throughout your weekend. We're always like running past each other. So it's been really helpful for us.
Yeah. I'm curious too, do you get the kids involved in like managing certain aspects of the home? And if so, like what does that look like?
Yeah. So I am a little, how can I say this? So I've seen a lot of different things, right? Like I've seen where like there are some content creators or other entrepreneurs that will say like, here is my, 4-year-old making their bed or something like that. And that's cool. But the very first thing that I just want to say is that, you are the best mom for your kids and you can see their abilities of things that they can do and can't do. My 8-year-old is autistic and my 5-year-old is not. So their capacities are very different. Like my 5-year-old, I can tell him, hey, go up there, go get dressed or get dressed before you come down for breakfast. My 8-year-old, he can now, but he wasn't able to do that at 5 years old. Therefore, I did not put a part of his chores to get dressed because the point of creating responsibility and even chores for your kids is that you want it to be fun for them. For me, it's important that my kids serve with a glad heart, and that they are not grumbling as they're serving. So I kind of make it easy for them, and I give them tasks that I know that they are actually going to be able to complete. And they're also going to be able to finish and not try to make them do things just because I saw another mom having their kid make their own breakfast at 3 years old. Like, no, my kid can barely wipe his butt, So I think it's important that we give our kids tasks that they can do and that they would find fun in doing. And the way that you can find out what this is, honestly, like, for example, I've noticed that I will be vacuuming our living room and my 5-year-old's like, hey, mommy, I want to vacuum. Great. We can make that a part of your responsibilities. Or things as simple as when you're done with your snack, don't just throw your trash on the floor, put it in the trash can. Those acts, to me, those count. Like those still count as you taking responsibility for the home. That's really what it's about. Everyone is taking responsibility for the home. And me, as a homemaker, I am more so the one that's giving direction, but I'm not the one that's doing everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I resonate too, because my oldest, he has autism too.
Yeah.
And so it's been really interesting, especially like having his younger sister. I feel like it motivates him to try to do more and everything. Like he wants to help her and teach her and everything.
Yeah.
But similar, like to how you gave the example with, your son asking to vacuum, like I've seen that more with him. Like both of the kids they'll watch me as I'm like sorting the clothes for laundry and they'll want to help out. So like we've been working on that. And my son too, he'll ask to like help out when cooking. So like he knows how to like prep the potatoes if we're going to do baked potatoes in the air fryer. Like he knows how to do all that and everything. But I think like you said, like making it fun for them, like not that you're forcing them trying to do it, but also helping them to see like this is your home too,
Yeah.
you want to take care of it too and everything. And so
I love
Yeah,
that.
it's been
Yeah.
like really fun, especially like as they're getting older and stuff, finding different ways to incorporate them in our like daily routines as far as like managing the home and everything.
Yeah, that's so good. Cause it's like, I just can't imagine my kid like me handing him a list and him just like checking stuff off. Like that's just not realistic for my home. For some people it
Hmm.
might, but I'm just like, yeah, my kids are not doing that. But
Hmm.
they will come alongside me, like you said, hey mom, like, oh, I love that. Let me help. Can I help? Like, yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other tips that you can give us, when it comes to managing our homes while running a business?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this and Um, I'm kind of like in this season right now where, I mean, things are just crazy, like for me, because I also homeschool too.
Ooh,
So
talk
my
to
kids,
us about that.
yeah,
Managing the home, running your business, and homeschooling.
I'm crazy. Like, I don't even know.
I'm gonna be there with you next year. We're starting
Oh,
homeschooling next year.
yeah. So, okay. Let me see. So as a homeschooler as well, so my 8-year-old is in homeschooling, grades are just fluctuating. So he's kind of in second grade, kind of not. My 5-year-old just kind of does whatever he wants. And then I have a 2-year-old who I'm trying to keep safe. But when it comes
Oh, as a 2-year-old child, I relate to that
Oh
so much.
my goodness. But no, something that I've been coming to realize over the last year or so is that when everything, even if you can't stick to a routine, the most important thing is that you learn to build good habits in your home. So good habits to me look like after we're done playing with a toy, we make sure we put it away. So we're not going to have the crayons out over here, then the blocks out over here, then the whatever on the other side. But we want to make sure that once we complete an activity, we put it away. Whenever we leave a room, we want to make sure that we tidy it up. So, for example, when I'm done getting dressed for the day and I do my makeup, I make sure that I put everything away in the bathroom. Simple habit. Another habit is before we sit down for dinner, we make sure that we pick up the living room. So that way we know the living room is already reset. Before I go to bed, I make sure that my kitchen is picked up, which is a task that I desperately don't like. That's my pain. But I know that my tomorrow self will love when I wake up to a clean kitchen. So these are just little habits that I have found myself, and I even recommend for people who maybe you're not in a season where you can focus on having actual steady routines. If you focus on just like having these good habits, like your home will be tidy majority of the time and everything else will work itself out. So I would say focus on having good tidying habits, and the routines can come. They can come.
I love that.
Yeah.
So one question I like to ask guests on my podcast is who is one coach or mentor who has had a major impact on your journey as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Major impact. Wow. So I've been doing this for a very long time. So I'm like trying to think. I would say, okay, there's two, but I'm going to give you the one that really had an impact on me. Um, her name is Haley Burkhead, and I started working with her probably back in 2015 ish or something like that. And I name her because she really taught me to take imperfect action. So this girl had me create my entire academy in 7 days.
Oh my
Like,
God.
I don't even know like how I even did it, but I think what it was that she it was a simple challenge. She was
Mhm.
like, everyone that comes to my program, I'm going to challenge you to whatever it is that you're creating to get it done in 7 days. And I just think that accountability, and that's why I love coaching and that accountability aspect that you get with working with a coach. There's nothing like it. And I think because I had her coaching me, I was able to push it out like in 7 days. Now, it was not perfect. And I mean, I recorded video on my computer. I was reading from slides. It was just, I just kind of like got it done. But she taught me that to just run and get it done. You can always go back and fix it. And that's kind of how I work on my business now, and honestly, I still am a little bit of a perfectionist and I'm trying to get over that. But it really does help me to just be okay. Like done is better than perfect kind of mindset. And I can always go back and refine it later. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. And I totally get, recovering perfectionist here myself. So
Oh,
I
yes.
totally get it. So you have a free cleaning checklist for the listeners. Tell us about it. So who is it for and why should we download it?
Absolutely. So I have a free daily and weekly cleaning checklist, and I recently actually updated it because at first it was just one standard checklist that you can customize. And the way that the checklist is mapped out is there is a portion at the top that has like your daily tasks that you do in your home to make sure that it's just well picked up. And then the middle portion of this checklist is like, tasks that you can do every day. It's like those deep cleaning. So think about like vacuuming and cleaning your bathroom and dusting. And then the last part at the bottom is like a Sunday weekly prep. So how you can prepare yourself for the week. So kind of what you were saying about, you got your meal plan done, your laundry done. Those are the things that would go on that bottom portion of the worksheet. But since, working with my students and clients over the last year, I created multiple versions of this checklist. So there's one for those of you who are stay-at-home moms. There's another one for you who, those of you who are working outside of the home. And those of you who are just like working professionals. So maybe you don't have children and you're still wanting to actually put your home in some type of system. And that checklist is going to be great because it's going to give you a jump start to creating your own cleaning routine in your home. And you can customize it in Canva and you can make it fit your home and your lifestyle for this current season.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
Sounds so good. Well, Dominique, thank you so, so much for just having this conversation with me and sharing all about, managing our homes while running our businesses and doing all of the things. So please share with listeners where they can connect with you and learn more about working with you.
Absolutely. So if you're listening, you can definitely send me a message on Instagram. My handle is Routines That Reward. I love talking in the DMs and just really providing helpful advice, not looking for an opt-in, just to help, to really help you bring peace to your home. So you can send me a message there and I look forward to connecting with you all soon.
All right. And I will make sure to link all of that in the show notes. Well, thank you again for being such an amazing guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm like, we could have definitely talked for so much longer, but this is so good.
Hey, Mama. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang with me. I would love to keep the conversation going. So head to mamaturnedmompreneur.com/marketing without socials to join my email community. I share even more tips and strategies for building a business that doesn't rely on social media and one that fits your current season of life, as well as more behind the scenes of mom and business life. All right, Mama, that's it for today, but I'll catch up with you again next week.